Nintendo, I beg you to change your ways. I mean, look at this. Why have you decided to starve your fans and drop these insulting direct minis all over us? Hello, this is Legit Brick, and in this video I need to discuss what has been going on with the lack of content from our favorite game company, Nintendo. And I'm sure you are aware of the direct mini that happened last week showing off various games that most people don't give a crap about. And this is starting to become a trend over at Nintendo. We are starting to see more and more announcements about smaller games that have little interest, and less of that AAA goodness we are all dying to have. The beginning of this year was full of promise, as there were many games such as Animal Crossing and Zelda that had been announced from the previous year. We knew for certain that a new Animal Crossing game was coming, and people began to speculate a holiday release for the new Zelda game. And Nintendo did start the year off strong. In January, Pokemon fans were delighted to see a 20-minute direct talking about the future of the series. And the following month held for us a direct geared toward the upcoming Animal Crossing game. These two directs were really promising for fans, big AAA titles being announced at the start of the year, and the month after that, we had the release of the first Direct Mini. This one went over stuff like Ninjala, Pokemon DLC, and the release of Xenoblade Chronicles. And while this Direct didn't interest me too much, I was really happy to see how the year was going in terms of the Switch. And then we went into quarantine. Days and nights spent alone with nothing to keep us calm. People began to grow restless for the next big news drop. 4 months we waited, and finally, we heard rumors surfacing about a Direct. These rumors were suggesting a remake of classic 3D Mario games or a launch date for the new Zelda game. And when the big day arrived, we were incredibly disappointed. Nintendo had decided to show off new games from indie companies they were involved with. Stuff like Shin Megami Tensei, Cadence of Hyrule DLC, and while these are cool, but they have smaller fan bases. Oh yeah, and this excuse of a game. I'm sure even a literal 5-year-old doesn't want to play some dumb John Cena game. I will praise Nintendo for one thing though, the way they handled their Paper Mario announcement. It wasn't in the form of a direct, it was just randomly dropped out of nowhere. Which shows me that things like the new Zelda game could still be coming this year despite the lack of news. I still think it's unlikely to get a holiday release for it, but at least there is some hope. Nintendo has put out a few big titles this year, larger releases like Animal Crossing, and some decent smaller games like Paper Mario and Xenoblade. But Nintendo not having any major holiday titles for us to look forward to is very unfortunate. And sadly, a product of Nintendo's actions has been how likely people are to listen to rumors. Because of how desperate the fans are, many people are turning to rumors. And I've always taken leaks and rumors with a grain of salt, but now it's hard not to get excited over a leak because of how little we're hearing over at Nintendo. Another thing worth mentioning is that by this time last year, we had 8 semi-major games that were releasing, and a few more we knew were coming around November and December. And we have been getting little presentations here and there, mostly just Mr. Sakurai showing off new DLC fighters for Smash. And while these are very fun to watch and DLC fighters are great to get, I really hope Nintendo doesn't think that these are replacements for Directs. Sony and Microsoft have already left their mark on this holiday season. Both companies have a new console and a solid launch library. I guess Nintendo has always been more likely to release bigger things in the summer. Like for example, the Switch, Breath of the Wild, and Odyssey all came out in mid-summer of 2017. But the summer of 2020 is almost over, and we don't have anything to really look forward to. Last year we had things like Luigi's Mansion, Link's Awakening, and Pokemon releasing from September to November. But this year, nothing. While E3 was cancelled this year, I really respect Sony and Microsoft for taking it into their own hands, having their own large showcases. Nintendo has been kind of sitting in the corner this year though, not giving us the bread we need to sustain life. I'm sure you're already aware of the unfortunate lack of AAA announcements this year, and I am very late to discuss the matter. But I thought I'd bring it up anyway, and I guess there is still some hope for getting another large title releasing later this year. But Nintendo had better get their act together, and fast, because Sony is looking like they have it all figured out for the release of the PlayStation 5. And I'm not even going to mention Microsoft. Sorry Xbox fans, you're on the wrong side of gaming. And I guess with current world, how shall I say, circumstances, Nintendo may have had a hard time adjusting away from the physical workplace. So I suppose there is some grace there. I don't think Nintendo has completely messed up this year. At least they weren't the ones that made this. Anyway, that was my little rant on Nintendo. What about you? Are you satisfied with the games that have come out this year? Or are you a greedy pig like me that needs more? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching the video, and if you enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any videos like this one in the future. I'll see you in the next video.